So we're going to start off with a little warm-up as usual, and we're going to start off with a pillar march. So pillar march, we're just bringing our knees up horizontally from our hips. So we're not bringing them up too high, we're just bringing them up to this level, and the alternate hand. So we just start sort of slowly, and then we're going to bring a bit more movement into it. So think about driving the ball of your foot down onto the floor as well when you're doing this. And then we're going to start bringing the arms a bit higher and the knees a bit higher. But as you start bringing your knees a bit higher, just focus on keeping the torso nice and strong. So we're not bending in that upper body, we're keeping it nice and stable. Engaging the core and using all muscles. And then we're going to go into a squat. So if you take your feet about hip width apart to start off with, and we're just going to squat down a few times, bringing your hands out in front. So we're getting mobility into the shoulders again, hamstrings, hips, glutes. Do a few like that. And then we're going to take our feet wider apart, and we're going to go down a little bit wider. So when you're doing this one, just focus on trying to keep those knees so they're going outwards, so they don't drop in like this. Keeping them tracking in a nice way and as low as you can, really. That'll get some movement into the hips. And then we're going to do some hip openers. So we're thinking about stepping, if you had a little gate next to you, you're stepping over it. So we're just going to step forward and back. Getting that mobility into the hip joint, getting the blood flowing in there. We'll do one more on this side, and then we're going to swap sides. So one side might feel a bit stiffer, that's okay. And then we're going to move into a little bit of jogging on the spot, just to get the heart rate up a little bit. A couple of minutes of that. And then we're going to move on to the arms and the upper body. So try and kick your bum when you're doing this. So this is a really good run drill as well, if you're warming up for running, because it gets that recovery part of the running cycle going. Okay, so stop jogging. You should feel a bit out of breath now. Get yourself in a nice stable base position with your feet about hip width apart. Bring your hands out to the front of you, and then bring your left hand behind you. And then what you're going to do is, as you bring that hand back in, you're going to turn and look over your shoulder, and then you're going to look back to the front. So we're going to do a few on this side. Might take a little bit of coordination, might feel a little bit odd. Keep a slight bend in your knee. Think about a strong torso. I've got it mixed up now as well. So head to the front as your arm goes back, and then look over your shoulder as your arm comes forward. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So bring your arm back, then as you bring your hand forward, you look over your shoulder. Hand back, look over your shoulder. So we're getting some blood flow into the upper back. Shoulder. As soon as I start talking, I lose it. You actually have to concentrate quite a lot to do this. Okay, one more. And then we're going to work on the upper body again, the shoulders, the scapula. So just bring your hands up in a kind of goalpost shape, and then squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then just think about drawing them down your back. And then we're going to go back up, and then down, and then up. And think about keeping your head up nice and straight, nice and tall. So imagining something drawing a straight line all the way through your body. So you've got a nice stable position. We'll do a couple more. Okay, one more. And then we're going to go into the circuit. So just you can rotate your arms around to, if you're feeling a little bit tense in the back of the shoulders. So we're going to start off with fire hydrant, which is down on all fours. Just going to get my watch out of the way. And we're going to do 3 circuits again this week. So we're going to do 40 seconds of each exercise. And then we're going to move on to the next exercise. So get yourself in on all fours, knees under your hips, hands under your shoulders, and we're going to take our knee out to the side, trying to keep a stable body. So don't want to see her twisting. I'm not going to be able to see it anyway, so you need to be aware of it. You're not twisting through the body. You go up as far as you can, maintaining this neutral position in your core. So we're going to go on one side 20 seconds and then the other side for 20 seconds. So we're going to start now. So just bringing the knee out to the side and then back down. And keep your gaze down to the floor so you're not arching your neck. Done nearly 20 seconds on this side, so get ready to think about changing. So we're going to swap now. And this is a really good exercise for your glutes. And also, you're working a bit on your core stability as well, because you're having to maintain that strong core. Okay, a couple more. Excellent. And then you're going to move on to a squat. So the squat, we're going to do a kind of graduated squat. So we're going to go down low, and then we're going to come up and hold. So we're going to hold for a few seconds at each position. So we're going to go down, and then we're going to come up, hold it, up, hold it, up, hold it. So we'll start now. Go down, fairly low, hold, up a little bit, hold, up a little bit, hold, up a little bit, hold, and then back down, up a little bit, hold, up a little bit, hold, up a little bit, hold, and we've got time for one more of those. So down, up a little bit and hold, up a little bit and hold, up a little bit and hold, and then straighten the legs. Okay, so the next exercise is an interesting one. It's working on your mobility in your shoulders, and we're moving in a different kind of way than we do normally. So you might find this is quite, if you've got tight shoulders, you're going to find this quite tough. But we're going to be trying to walk in this position, like crawl in this position. If you can't do it like this, like it hurting your wrists, hurting your arms, hurting your shoulders, it's just not working for you, then you can just crawl. That's a really good exercise to do, just crawling around. But if you can, get yourself into this position, so your feet under your knees, and then you're going to push your hips up as high as you can, so you've got a flat base if you can. And then we're just going to do some walking in this position. So I'll just start the timer, so get yourselves ready. And we're going to walk one way and then the other. So it might feel a bit odd. That's totally okay. Do some strange things to keep body mobility. So you probably don't move in this way normally, so it will help to use those muscles and kind of stretch out as well. And that's what strength and conditioning is about, is kind of moving in different ways possibly than you might do normally. So remember to keep those hips up. They might start dropping down. Okay, well done. So the next exercise we're going to do, we did a bit of down dog the other week, I can't remember. So down dog is when you're in this position, so you're trying to get your hips up high, you're aiming for a triangular kind of position, so your head is dropping down between your knees. But we're going to go from this position, and then we're going to bring our knees in. So a little bit like a mountain climber, but in between, instead of in a mountain climber, you're in a plank position. We're going back to that position each time. So we're kind of getting a hamstring stretch and calf stretch in between each time you do the mountain climber. So we're going to do 40 seconds of that. So you start off I'm going to start the timer in a minute, so get yourself into this position with your hips up high, your head down low as well. Make sure there's no tension in the neck. And then I'm going to start. You're going to come forward and bring your knee in between your arms. Knee in between. So keep going with the knees in between, and then in a minute we're going to change what we're doing. So we're going to aim for our knee to go to the elbow, to the outside of the elbow. Going to the outside of the elbow. Got a few more. And this is really good for core, but it's also stretching as well. Okay, and then just hold in this position. And then back down onto your knees. Okay. And then we're going to do another core. So we're going to do boat to low boat, which is quite a strong exercise. So you can just hold this position if you want to. That's a really good core exercise, but what we're going to aim for is going from this position, this boat position, to a low boat position, and then back up again. So with the boat, you're aiming for kind of zigzag shape in your body, and you're holding that strong core, and then you're gradually lowering down so that your feet are a few inches off the floor. So when you're in this position, aim for your hands kind of pointing towards your toes, and then we're going to come back up. So we're going to do a few of these. I'm going to start the timer, so get yourselves ready in the starting position. And remember, you can always just hold this position if you want to. Okay, so we've started. Try not to tense your neck muscles. And look at a point in front of you. Okay, a few more. Remember, you can just hold here. It's a tough one. Okay, well done. So another core one next. We're going to go from side plank, and we're going to do a moving plank. So we're going to start in side plank. I'll just demonstrate first, and then we're going to go over onto our other hand, and then onto the other side. So we're moving from one side to the other. So remember, with plank, we're aiming for keeping these hips up towards the sky, not letting these hips drop down. We're keeping that nice strong stability in the core. So if you get yourself in a plank position, we're going to start now, and then we're going to go to the side. You can bring your hand up as well if you want to, but you don't have to. If this one is not working for you, then you can just hold a plank in this position. That's also a really good core exercise. And you've got to start somewhere. Okay, a few more. Nearly done on this round, on this circuit. Okay, that's that one. So we're going back to fire hydrant now. So we're on all fours, and we're taking the knee out to the side. So we're going to start now. We'll do 20 seconds on one side, and then 20 seconds on the other. So remember to keep your gaze down to the floor, so you're not arching your neck. And really think about engaging that glute and making sure you're not twisting other side. So you're not twisting through the torso, you're allowing your glute to do the work. You're sort of trying to isolate that muscle really in this exercise. Okay, one more. And then we're moving on to squat holds. So we're going into a squat position. We'll go a little bit, we went wide last time, so we'll go in a little bit narrow this time. So we're going to go down and then come up, hold, come up, hold and come up, and then back to the start. Remember with the squat as well, think about keeping your knees out so they're not caving in the middle, they're not knocking in together. And then down again, up, up. Thinking about pushing your hips back, one more. So you've got a straight back. Okay, it's the last one. Okay, and then we're going to the backward crawl. So we're going in a crawling position, but on our backs. We keep our hips up towards the sky, and we're just going to walk a little bit forwards and backwards. So getting that mobility into the shoulders. Ow. Just put my hand on a stone. See if you can go a little bit quicker. You might feel a bit more fluid this time round because we've warmed up a bit. Might feel a bit more comfortable, but it might not, and that's okay too. So remember, if your hips start dropping down, just focus on pushing your hips up towards the sky or your ceiling, wherever you are. Okay, brilliant. So now we're on to down dog and the mountain climber. So we get into down dog position, and then hips up to the sky, head down to the ground. You're going to go knees in between your arms and keep those knees as high up as possible. So we don't want to drop them down here. We want to be really engaging the core and bring them as close to our chin really as possible. So going back into down dog. I wasn't doing that very well then. Okay, and then we're going to go outside the elbows. Just the outside of the elbows as high as you can. Okay, one more to each side. There we go. And then just stretch out and down dog a little bit. You can move in this position. It's always good to kind of move your body, get some fluidity in there. Next one is the boat to low boat. If you happen to here, I'm not looking forward to this. So if you get yourself into boat position, whilst I mess about with my watch, so you're looking for that zigzag position, hands out, kind of aiming to look at your toes. And then we're going to go down into low boat and then back up. Low boat and back up. You can touch your feet to the floor as well if you want to make it a little bit easier. And looking straight ahead. And remember to breathe as well. It's easy to start holding your breath in this exercise. A few more. I think this is the last one. Yeah. Brilliant. So now we're on side plank, moving plank, or you can just hold a modified plank if the side plank is too much for you. So we start in plank position or in modified plank position, and we're just going to hold 40 seconds or move from side plank to side plank. So start, and then bring your arm up if you can. Make sure your hips aren't dropping, and also make sure your head is in line with your spine every time you turn or move. It's getting hot here already again this morning. probably one more to each side. There we go. And now we're back around to the beginning again. So we're back to the fire hydrant. So down on your knees, in all fours, knees under your hips, hands, elbows under shoulders. We're going to bring our knee out to the side. Remember to keep your gaze down to the floor, and you're arching your neck. I'm going to do 20 on this side, 20 seconds that is, and then 20 on the other. And keep some space in between your fingers when you're on all fours. It means you've just got a better, a more stable base. So on to the other side now. Remembering not to twist, so you're keeping your torso nice and stable. If you can't bring your knee as high up without twisting, then it shouldn't be going that high. Right, next one, squat and hold. So we'll do a wide squat again this time. So again, remembering to keep your knees over, you're aiming for your knees to be sort of over your ankles. So I'm going to start squatting down low and then come up, making sure those knees don't come in. You're thinking about pushing your knees apart if you can. Up and then down and then up. Just gradually coming up and then down again. Birds are very noisy this morning, which is nice. And then down again. Okay, we're just going to go down and hold now for 20 seconds. See if we can do that. Okay, so that's 10. And then 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come up. Well done. And then we're going to go into a back crawl again. Sorry, I've done something with my watch. So back onto your back, hips up towards the sky. I'm going to do a little bit of crawling around, moving your muscles in a different way. You're also having to engage. If you really bring your hips in, you'll feel your hamstrings starting to engage and your core as well. So it's a really good full body exercise actually. Hopefully it's feeling a little bit easier this time round. Excellent. Okay, so we're now going into downward dog and up into a kind of mountain climber-ish position. So remembering to go back into that downward dog position every time, not like I did last time. So bring our knee in, and then we're going back, in and back. And our knees are going in between our hands as high up, close to our chest as we can, so that you really engage your core. Hips up to the sky every time you come round. And then we're going to go to the outside of the elbows this time. Really stretching through the hips when you come back into down dog. Okay, and then just stretch back into that position and hold it for a little bit. You might want to walk your feet a couple of times. Just move your hips from side to side just to get a bit of movement and blood flow in there. Then drop your knees down to the ground. And then we're into low boat. So go into boat position. And then down into low boat. And back up. Okay, this week I don't have to worry about overrunning a little bit because I've added some added extra time onto Zoom, so it won't kick me off, is what I'm saying. Okay, we've got a few more seconds left. Okay, last one. And then just hold boat now. So we're going to hold it for 10 seconds. Keep breathing. Okay, and then lower down. Okay, and then last exercise before we go into a stretch is going to be our side plank. Or just holding a modified plank, or just holding a normal plank, but if you can hold a normal plank, you should be able to do the side planks. So we go into plank position, or modified plank, and you're going to start, bring your hand up, remember to keep those hips going up towards the sky or the ceiling, pushing your hips upwards and not dropping down. If they start dropping down, you might just need to take a break for a minute or a few seconds and then come back to it. Okay, one more to each side, so this is your last on this side. And then come down to the ground. Well done. So we'll do some stretches now. I'm just going to get my watch on so I can see what I'm doing. There we are. Right, so if you come down onto your backs and then just bring one of your feet into the air, doesn't matter which one. And just bend and straighten your knee in towards your chest, and then we're going to hold for a bit of a hamstring stretch. If you do have a belt or a strap or anything, it's really good to use that in this stretch. Otherwise you can just use your hands around the back of your hamstring. So we're now just going to hold, you can hold the back of your hamstring. You may be able to reach your calf, you may be able to reach your foot, but the main thing is to just feel some kind of stretching in this position. So I'm going to hold this for a few seconds. We're not holding too long. You can always come back to these stretches throughout the day. Point your heel up towards the sky as well as you're doing it. Okay, and then bring your knee into your chest. Just hug your knee in and then bring it down. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So we just bring our knee into our chest and then straighten it up. So we're getting that blood flowing in there. Getting mobility in so that we can stretch a little bit. Do one more bend and stretch, and then you're going to hold in whichever position you want to. But you want to feel the stretch, but not too intense. So you're trying to release here. If you remember what I've been saying in the past weeks, it's about releasing the muscles and allowing them to return. Okay, so now we're going to cross one leg over the other and just bring your hands in between the leg that your leg is crossed under. You can see what I'm doing, hopefully. I've not explained that very well. And then you're going to bring that knee in towards your chest and try and push the bent knee outwards.